Namaste. In this video, I would like to tell you something about the principles on which the Chakra Sadhana course, the Chakra Sadhana practice, on which principles the Chakra Sadhana practice is based upon. And I think it will give you an overview on the Chakra Sadhana course and the basic principles that we've used that we find that contribute to self-alignment and contribute to inner healing. And I think you can use these principles with all kinds of practices. They're, I think, basic principles for self-healing and for inner alignment. So let's start. The first principle, I would say, is safety. So safety. Even in, for example, the Gupta program, which is a program that is designed for brain retraining for chronic diseases, and in many other practices as well, we see that safety, perceived safety, is very important for us to heal. We can see this as well when we're in the fight or flight mode. Our nervous system is in the sympathetic nervous system, and it's in react mode, it's on fighting mode or flighting mode, or freezing mode. It's on, it's tensed, it's ready to react. And what happens is that if you're in a state like this, all your energy reserves are on this, keeping yourself in this state of alertness. And what we need to heal is we need to be in a state of rest, a state of peace, a state of being at ease. That's why when we have a virus or something, when we feel sick, or when we have the flu, the virus, our body will tell us that we need rest. We will feel very tired, so that the body can, our system can work on the virus and letting go of those, dissolving the virus, I would say. Can focus on dissolving the virus. So the same goes for inner healing, for emotional healing, and everything. When we're still in that fight or flight mode, when we're still in that action mode, it's very hard for our system to let things go. So the first thing we do is to provide a safe environment, a safe time. And we do this every day, so our system will know that it's safe, and we'll create a safe space to do that in. And we consciously create a safe environment for us to work, do inner work, and embrace stuck emotions, embrace old traumas, and embrace samskaras, and give the safe environment, the safe place, the safe spaciousness to let it dissolve, and to let it stream again. We're not in that tense action mode. We're actually in a deep, devotional, relaxing state. safe place where we can dissolve things with unconditional love and acceptance. So this brings me to the second one, the second principle. The second principle is devotion. Devotion. Devotion, when we're acting out of our sense of ego, of striving, of me against the world, of grasping, we're in a very contracted form of consciousness. We feel very separate, we feel very on our own, and this in itself creates a lot of tension. We have to fight for our place, we have to compete. There are competitors. I have to maintain status. I have to have a great profile. I want to be acknowledged by everyone. I want to be validated by everyone. I want to be seen. It's all out of egotistical, ego desires, ego beliefs. It's very focused on ego. What I want, what I need, blah, blah, blah. So, devotion softens the ego. Devotion creates humility. It deepens your humility. It softens the ego. It makes you recognize that you're part of something greater, and you acknowledge that you're part of something greater. That it's not all about the ego. That the self, the true self, is something beyond the ego. Is something far greater than the ego, than what the ego desires are. And when we start acknowledging this and start experiencing that we are part of a whole, part of unity in diversity, we will see this. We will see how things resonate with each other and things will come together, and we can see that our whole experience is unfolding. We start to recognize that everything we encounter and the things we engage in are, we can perceive those as teachers, are reflections of our inner landscape. So it's beautiful. It's beautiful how interconnected the whole universe is, how interconnected all is. So feel already how humbling this is, just talking about this. Feel how your ego desires seem like misalignments in a certain sense, right? How can we think it's all about me, instead of seeing the bigger picture and how it is all working together? And how beautiful it is that we can perceive everything as a teacher, and that it is designed, created in a way to support our self-alignment, to support our unfolding. Devotion from the heart, seeing everything as a teacher, acknowledging this. And we feel how devotion softens us, how devotion lowers our guarding system, how devotion aligns us with unity instead of separation, which all benefit our nervous system, which all benefit our capacity to heal, to come to rest, and just to experience how we truly are. Yeah, so it's devotion and surrender. I've written down devotion and surrender. Surrender to the path. So it's very in line with these. The next principle I've written down, and then the next principle that the Chakra Sadhana is based upon. I think it's the principle of our innermost being. It's the principle of our innermost nature. It's the nature of how we truly are. If we let go of all our attachments, of all our grasping for pleasure or avoiding of pain, when we, I think, when we go to the source, when we meditate, for example, our innermost source, the principle of Chakra Sadhana, is based upon unconditional love and unconditional acceptance. So unconditional love. Loving unconditionally. You know, in Kashmir Shaivism, they talk about true nature is Chit Ananda, consciousness bliss. Consciousness full with bliss. The blissful, the self-joy of experiencing the complete fullness of what I am. It's just consciousness overflowing with love for itself. And that's what we can experience with unconditional love. It's the unconditional love, so not conditioned love. There are no strings attached. There is just this complete fullness overflowing with love for itself. And returning to this state, to the state of unconditional love. So when we align with this state of being, our innermost natural state of being, which is unconditional love and unconditional acceptance, they're intertwined, we can see that it gives a very clear mirror on where do I still attach? Where do I experience conditioned love? Where do I have expectations of others? Where do I have expectations of situations? Where do I crave for certain outcomes? Where am I not flowing with the stream of consciousness? Where am I not flowing with this stream of unconditional love and unconditional acceptance, and experience this unfolding of my true nature of life, how life is unfolding, how the teacher is unfolding, the self-reflective awareness. So for self-inquiry, it provides a very clear guidance, just not only attuning ourselves feeling-wise with this feeling of unconditional love and unconditional acceptance, but also intellectually, we experience unconditional love and acceptance, we can very clearly think and perform self-inquiry on our feelings and emotions and our experiencing, and just see how we are not unconditionally loving, embracing unconditional love in that situation, or why we are not embracing unconditional acceptance in a certain situation. What are we grasping for? What needs do we have? Yes, so unconditional love and unconditional acceptance, it's, I would say, the fundamental principle of Chakra Sadhana. Meeting what is with unconditional love and unconditional acceptance. So, the next thing that I have written down is self-understanding. We can already see with the Chakralytics web app as well. It's based on self-inquiry, self-understanding, deepened self-understanding. We also have the Garden of Teachings on the Databration website, and also in the Knowledge Hub of Chakralytics, which provides a place for self-study, for deepening self-understanding. So the Chakra Sadhana as well is a practice where we provide an environment and practices to help us deepen our self-understanding. So fear and misalignment in Kashmir Shaivism, they talk about the veils of ignorance, malas, and limited knowledge, which are the causes of bondage, which are the causes of pain and suffering. So, fear and stuck emotions, when we're not aware of them, they can have a grip on us, right? You will just be led by the emotions you have and the fears you have and the experience you are encountering. But once we become aware of our stuck emotions, of our fears, we shed our light on them, they start to become less scary. And we can sense it came from there, or I had a bad experience in the past and that created this, or I have certain beliefs that are creating these kind of tensions. And once we understand ourselves better and study and become more aware of who we are, it becomes easier to dissolve stuck emotions and just to see what was I worried about, or what was I making a fuss about at all. Once we have let go of those belief systems and stuck emotions, we will feel a lot more freedom, and that it wasn't necessary at all to feel so tense about those situations, or So self-understanding is a fundamental principle of the Chakra Sadhana, and I think a fundamental principle of the teachings of Databration as a whole. And then the last principle I've written down is self-alignment. I think all the previous principles are examples of self-alignment. And I think for what we intent with the Chakra Sadhana practice is very consciously align with our inner self, align with self, with our true nature of being. And we also use mantra to completely self-align and to let go of misalignments and to surrender to our ultimate reality, to the innermost being of what we truly are. It's also about our intention. Our intention, I think it's very important to have our attention that we are fully devoted on self alignment, that we're fully devoted to inner work. It's our devotion, it's our intention, it's what we create. Okay, so thank you for listening. And these were the principles that I had written down, and I wanted to share them with you. And I think that these are principles for the Chakra Sadhana course. I think these could be also very beautiful principles just to live by. Namaste.